what happens when industrial oils cross into your brain. Think about how fast a thought moves. It feels instantaneous. You decide to lift your hand, and it happens. You remember a name, and it's there. But that speed isn't magic. It's biological. It's electrical. And it relies on insulation, specifically a substance called myelin. Myelin wraps around your neurons like the plastic coating around an electrical wire. It keeps the signal focused. It keeps it fast. Without it, signals leak. They scatter. They slow down. And here's the part that almost nobody talks about. Myelin is fat. Roughly 70 to 80% of it is lipid, which means the structural integrity of your brain's wiring depends entirely on the quality of fat you feed it. And this is where the story gets complicated. Because for the last 100 years, we've been feeding our brains a type of fat they never evolved to handle. Industrial seed oils, high in linoleic acid, an omega-6 polyunsaturated fat that is chemically unstable. When you consume these oils in large quantities, something unexpected happens. The linoleic acid doesn't just stay in your bloodstream. It cascades through the blood-brain barrier. We used to think the blood-brain barrier was this impenetrable wall, a security guard that keeps toxins out. But it's more like a filter, and it's permeable to certain lipids, especially the ones that are abundant in your diet. If your diet is flooded with industrial omega-6s, your brain tissue reflects that. The composition of your neuronal membranes shifts, and then the chemistry changes. Polyunsaturated fats like linoleic acid contain multiple double bonds in a bottle that makes them liquid. Inside your brain, those double bonds make them vulnerable. They are prone to a process called lipid peroxidation. Essentially, they rust. When these unstable fats incorporate into your myelin sheaths, they create weak points. Free radicals attack those double bonds, and this triggers what researchers are now calling an oxidative firestorm. It's not a fire in the literal sense. It's a cascade of chemical damage. The byproducts of this oxidation, 4-hydroxynonal and melandialdehyde, are toxic. They damage proteins, they damage DNA, and critically, they degrade the myelin itself. Imagine trying to run high-speed internet through a cable that's fraying. The insulation is breaking down. The signal gets noisy. This is what's happening at a microscopic level in the brain when the omega-6 load is too high. The screenshot for this video used the phrase rigid inflamed bottlenecks, and that's actually a pretty accurate way to visualize it. Healthy myelin is fluid. It allows for rapid firing. Oxidized, damaged myelin becomes stiff. It creates resistance. Neural signaling slows down. This isn't just theoretical. There's a direct link between the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats in your diet and cognitive processing speed. When the balance tips too far toward the industrial oils, you see measurable declines in memory, in focus, in the sheer velocity of thought. It's a molecular hijacking. Your brain is trying to build structure out of materials that are designed to be shelf-stable in a plastic bottle, not functional in a living neuron. And the cost is paid in cognitive clarity. But it goes deeper than just the wiring. This oxidative stress triggers inflammation, not the kind you can see, like a swollen ankle. Neuroinflammation. Your brain's immune cells, the microglia, detect this damage. They wake up. In a healthy state, microglia are like janitors. They clean up debris. They support neurons. But when they're constantly bombarded by oxidized lipids, they shift into an aggressive state. They start producing inflammatory cytokines. They start attacking the very tissue they're supposed to protect. This creates a feedback loop. The damaged myelin triggers inflammation. The inflammation causes more oxidative stress, which damages more myelin. It's a slow burn, a silent degradation of the brain's physical architecture. And the scariest part, you don't feel it happening. Not at first. You don't feel your myelin thinning. You don't feel the blood-brain barrier becoming more permeable. You just notice that you're a little slower, a little foggier, that you can't focus the way you used to. We tend to think of cognitive decline as something that happens when we're old, as an inevitable part of aging. But the foundation for that decline is laid decades earlier. It's built meal by meal. It's built by the oil you cook with, the dressing on your salad, the processed foods that rely on cheap seed oils for texture and shelf life. The research is starting to trace these industrial lipids as they infiltrate cellular membranes, transforming fluid pathways into those rigid bottlenecks. It's proving that common pantry staples are actively rewiring brain chemistry, not because they're poison in the acute sense. You won't get sick immediately from a tablespoon of soybean oil, but they are incompatible with the delicate biochemistry of the human brain over a lifetime. Your brain was calibrated for a different fat profile, one rich in omega-3s, in saturated fats that provide stability, in monounsaturated fats that resist oxidation. These are the fats that built the human brain over millions of years of evolution. When you swap those out for industrial extracts, you're changing the hardware. And the good news is that the hardware can be repaired. Your cells turn over, your myelin regenerates, but it needs the right materials. If you stop flooding the system with linoleic acid, the oxidative stress decreases, the microglia calm down, the blood-brain barrier integrity can be restored. It's not about finding a miracle supplement. It's about removing the interference, giving your brain the raw materials it actually knows how to use. Because at the end of the day, your thoughts are physical. They rely on structure, on chemistry, on the integrity of the fats that hold your neurons together. And if you want to think clearly, you have to build with materials that don't rust.